All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Tuesday morning Inner Circle Live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody is doing well today. And hope everybody's week is off to a great start. We are going to dive in. So, as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. So let's get to it. We'll hop into some fundamentals. Take a look at anything that transpired over Monday and last night. And then we will dive into the charts. Give me 1 second, everybody. 1 second. Real quick, can you guys drop me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay? Oh, actually, I have to make that available for you. There we go. Drop me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay. Maybe not. All right, cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So let's get rocking. We're going to hop over to trading economics and see what is happening there. Let's go here. All right. So Eurozone GDP. Eurozone GDP rose in Q4, right? I've been talking about the back and forth data and how interesting it is and what it could lead to. So the Eurozone economy unexpectedly expanded by 0.1% on the quarter in Q4, following a 0.3% rise in Q3 and beating market forecasts of a 0.1% drop. Preliminary estimates show the bloc's economy escaped a recession in 2022, offering some relief over the damage caused by rising inflation and borrowing costs. The GDP expanded in France, Spain, and Ireland, but contracted in Germany and Italy. So, right, Benny talked about over the weekend regarding a hawkish ECB, right? A hawkish ECB. Now, this lends to the ECB continuing to be hawkish, right? So, on those euro pairs, we got to pay attention to where they are and what's happening. We got rate statements coming out on Thursday, coming out of the ECB. So, got to pay attention to that there. Oil hovers near 3-week low. WTI crude futures dropped more than 1% to below $77 per barrel on Thursday, a level not seen in 3 weeks. As signs of robust Russia exports and fears of a global economic slowdown rattle investors, right? Still looking at this global economic slowdown. Russian oil producers have been able to secure export deals despite Western sanctions and price caps, as India and China have continued buying Russian oil sold at a discount. Right? On top of that, investors are fretted about the global economy's health, as central banks worldwide move aggressively to tamp down inflation. Still, the reopening in the Chinese economy has given markets reasons to be bullish, with the recent data showing that Chinese manufacturing and services activity rebounded sharply in January. Meanwhile, the Middle East is Israel carried out a drone strike against a target in Iran over the weekend, fueling fears of supply disruptions. OPEC will also maintain current oil production levels when they meet this week, right? Keeping the global supplies tight. So, from an oil perspective, things are still tight, right? Still pulling back, but um, we'll see how things go there, right? You got China moving and shaking. You got oil being purchased elsewhere, but you also got some price caps and things like that still happening, which is causing that back and forth in that oil price, right? So keep your eyes on that there. Then International Monetary Fund raises 23 global growth outlook to 2.9%, right? So looking ahead, could see some positive outlooks there. All right. China manufacturing sector returns to growth, which you just saw. So we see that the economies are still being resilient, right? Um, through it all, they're still doing their thing. So we gotta make sure, right, that we keep that in mind. Rate statements coming this week on the dollar and the pound and the euro. So that's the trade economics look. Over to the Forex factory. Just a quick look at what we have coming up. GDP for Canada coming out at 8:30. We got consumer confidence for the United States at 10. Then employment change and unemployment rate for New Zealand coming out at 4:45. Then tomorrow is when things really start moving. We got non-farm employment change, which is a precursor to the Friday report. Then we got ISM manufacturing PMI and Joe's jobs opening at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Then we got 2 o'clock, what everybody's looking forward to. FOMC statement of federal funds rate, and then at 2:30 you got the press conference. Right, this is going to be big. Seeing if the U.S. comes in at that 25 basis point hike, and then what the conversation is afterwards. All right, so we'll keep our eyes peeled on that. It's going to be really important. Then on Thursday, we have Bank of England rate statement, and then we have the European ECB rate statement. Right, 7 o'clock and 8:15 respectively. Then you got the ECB press conference at 8:45. All right, so Thursday is going to be another big day, and then Friday to wrap everything up, we got non-farm payroll. All right, so it's going to be a busy week from a fundamental perspective, and we've already seen some activity. Right, we've seen some activity in the markets already. So we will hop over to the charts and take a look at those. All right, so we'll take a look real quick at the dollar, and then we'll take a quick overview of two of the pairs that are moving that we talked about over the weekend, being that pound Aussie and the euro Aussie. All right. So on the dollar's trying to find some support here, right? Overall, got 8.6 retracement levels on a daily time frame. Finding support here, trying to push to the upside. So this next daily resistance level here, which was support here, right? We had support here, right? And it was a resistance here. Now we want to see if we can break back above that level. All right. So as we're looking at these dollar pairs and dollar crosses, right? If we break back above, we can then see price continue to potentially rise. Or we could get back and retest these levels and come back down and kind of get stuck in the range a little bit. Right. So that's what we want to watch from a DXY perspective. Okay. So we'll keep our eyes on the dollar there, but trying to catch a bid to the upside there. All right, so we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, get a little bit of a closer look. And we'll run these to the upside. And then back down. That's where we sit on the dollar on the 4. Whoops, there we go. There we go. All right. So on the 4, right, we got this B boundary just shy of the 118 127 zone, 80-20 scenario potentially trying to play out on the dollar, right? So we'll watch to see again if we can break back above these levels, right? If we don't break back above this weekly level, right, this range could be in play here. Okay. So that's the dollar index. Want to take a look real quick at the pound Aussie, right? Two pairs that we noted over the weekend, watching some 80-20 scenarios play out. From a daily time frame perspective, we're sitting in this 118 and 127 zone range, and we have a head and shoulders pattern also, right? So this is the 118 and 127 zone off of the shallow retracement, right? But it's just this consolidation here, right? We came down to this daily support, right? Create a swing low and pushing back to the upside, okay? But this is the head and shoulders pattern here. All right. There's the head and shoulders pattern there. Okay. So we'll watch this to see. I'll change that. Maybe not. Anywho, we'll watch this to see, right? This retracement that we're getting right now, if it just comes back. Man, it's giving me a hard time. There we go. There we go. Right. This retracement on the lower time frame, right? If we get price to turn back over and break back below this neckline, right? So that's what we're looking to see there. So that's the daily look. If we run that fib off of the high here, right? This harmonic fib on the head and shoulders pattern, right? You see we got a 618 retracement off that fib. So the matching D extension would be here at 169526. All right. So looking at that potential move after this retracement completes as potential to complete that head and shoulders pattern. So we drop down to the 4, right? And this is that move that we looked at over the weekend. Fresh B boundary. We had a push to the 236 retracement level, and then we got a nice pullback, and now we're getting this continuation to the upside here, right? So we want to watch and see as price gets up into our sweet spot here, right? As we move into Wednesday, Thursday, how price reacts in this zone. Okay. Beautiful move to the upside so far, right? Off the low, already up 250 pips, right? With a little bit more to go. We'll see how price responds in this 618-786 range and see if we are able to get price to turn over and continue that move back down to the downside. All right. So as we continue to move through, drop to the 1 and look at the 1 hour. 1 second. We look at the 1, right? On the 1, we had this 80-20 scenario, right? We had this 80-20 scenario. Beautiful play here, right? Shallow retracement. Shallow retracement. Price push to the 118 and 127 zone. And now we're off to the races, right? We have some consolidation on this pullback here. And then we got the beautiful break of the cloud, right? We broke the cloud in a nice bullish fashion, and we broke back above this resistance level, right, where we were consolidating. Okay. So we got that break of the cloud that we love, that we need to see, right, for confirmation of the cloud. We had Kumo twist ahead, right, bullish fashion. And then later on, we got the lagging span and breakthrough price as well, right? And you had your TK crossover down here, right? So we got that break, and now we're off to the races, right? Price pushing to the upside there. Okay. So again, we're looking at these deeper retracement levels and see as we move through the week, right? We'll watch as price gets into that 618-786 retracement level, right? And then look for potential move back down to the downside. Okay. We'll see how the Bank of England comes out. If they come out with more of a dovish tone, right, we could see this action, right? Now, if they come out with more of a hawkish tone, right, we'll see things continue to press to the upside there, right? So, any questions here on that pound Aussie? No? Cool deal. Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody.
How you doing,
How
man?
are you, Ryan? Oh, man, I'm doing pretty good.
Good, man.
Doing pretty good.
Glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it.
Headed into February, coldest month of the year here in Michigan. I'm just ready to get through it.
Man, listen, dude. I'm sitting here hoping that what we've seen over the past couple of months continues.
And I know. Hopefully, this was the major snowstorm that just passed, and that's it. So,
yeah.
looking forward to the spring and to some baseball.
That's the ticket, man. That's the ticket. Definitely looking to see some good things this spring. Anything from a fundamental perspective that you saw yesterday or early this morning that caught your eye?
Oh no, man. I mean, European GDP growth in the fourth quarter came through good, right? So expect to see more hawkish rhetoric coming out of the ECB. And hey, the big elephant in the room this week is just is rate hike week. You know, for the US and for the UK and for the Eurozone. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. That's where we are. That's where we are. So it'll be interesting to see how the second half of the week goes. We've already had some really good price action to start the week, so should see some interesting fireworks on the second half.
For sure.
Cool deal. So we'll hop over, take a look at that Euro Aussie real quick. Another one that we talked about over the weekend. Come back to the daily time frame here, right? My bad, everybody. We found support, right? Found support at 152,695. Okay, and pushing bullish, right? So we'll see how much of a push to the upside we get. And again, right, ECB could definitely come in hawkish, right, as economy continues to be resilient, right? Could see a continued press to the upside. We'll see how far it tracks, right? So we zoom out here and run this fib off the low, right? That's the look there, right? 8-6 retracement, found a weekly support, and we're pushing to the upside, right? So we'll see how far we press up if we're able to push and break that B boundary and get into that 118 level. We'll see. Got a little bit of work to do, but pushing to the upside. So we come down to 4, right? And we zoom out here on the 4 hour. We'll look at it from a couple different perspectives, but we had 618 retracement level. This is that support, right? Daily and weekly support, and this is that push to the upside, right? That's the push to the upside there. So we're moving, okay? If we run a sub fib off the high, no, that doesn't give us anything, right? So 618 retracement there. That's what we got, and we're pushing to the upside. So we'll see what happens when we get back to this 157.484 level. Down on your one, right, is where you get your 80-20 scenario. And we're talking, we'll see, we said we'll see if price is able to push down and get to that D extension, right? But it didn't, right? Price turned over and started making its way back to the upside here, right? So we got a beautiful 80-20 scenario here as well, okay? Shallow retracement. Whoops. Shallow retracement. price pushed to the 118 and 127 zone, and we're getting a move to the upside. Hold on 1 second, everybody. My bad. Alarm's going off. So, right. So we got the shallow retracement, price pushed through the 118 and 127 zone, but could not get to that D extension. And then we got the push to the upside, right? So here again, just like on that pound Aussie, we got this beautiful bullish break of the cloud, right? Beautiful bullish break of the cloud. Then we got to pull back to retest the cloud, and then we got to push, right? So this one is on the go, 149 pips already to the upside, right? Again, we'll look to see as price gets up into these higher levels. We'll see how the ECB comes in, right? And we'll see how price responds in the 618, 786 retracement levels, right? But if the ECB comes in hawkish, we could see this continue to rise, okay? And if we break that daily level, we'll then be on that move to the upside, right? Fibs running to the upside there, okay? So that's what we'll keep our eyes on to see how price responds in these levels and see how the ECB comes out in their rhetoric. All right. Questions on this Euro Aussie play? Nope. Cool deal. Let's take a look at. I want to run through these dollar crosses to see where they sit. Actually, I want to take a look at this dollar Swiss first. Come here. Zoom out. On this dollar Swiss, I missed this setup. We had a conversation in Telegram. I think it was Joy and Benny. Joy says she missed it as well. We'll see if it comes back. But from a daily time frame perspective, right, we got an 8-6 retracement off of this wick right here, push down, and now we're pushing bullish. So we'll see if we're able to make our way back to the upside. See if the dollar continues to be bullish from that perspective, right? Especially against the Swiss, we'll see how that goes. But trying to push to the upside here, right? So we drop down to the 4. And let's bring this back. I believe these are going to come off the high. Let's see. Yep. Took that out. So we're going to run this fib off the high here. Oops. Like so, right? And we've just been ranging for the most part on the 4. Okay. Just been ranging. We got a 382 into that daily level. And then we came back down, not able to break out to the downside, and we broke the cloud. Right? And broke the cloud to the upside. So we're pushing, and we'll see if price continues to rise here. Okay. So as we come down to the 1, yep, that's the move there. It got kind of choppy in here, and then we got this push and this break of the cloud to the upside, right? Break the cloud to the upside, looking at price at least getting back to this daily level of 94,051, right? Retest this level, and then we'll see what happens from there. Okay. But moving to the upside, if we run our fibs off the low here, right, we had a beautiful scenario right here where we got 786 retracement off of the sub fib, right? Off of the sub fib, and then price broke the cloud, gave us a nice pullback, and then continued moving, right? So this was the play here from a sub fib perspective that we could have looked at right here on the pullback, right? This happened last week. Price broke the cloud, and we got a pullback yesterday, right? And price took off to the upside. Okay. So We'll see if price continues to rise or if we get another pullback and a continuation higher, right? That D extension is in sight, could hit that first, and then we'll get a refresh. So we'll keep our eyes on that for smaller wave intraday trade opportunity once that D extension gets hit. All right. Any questions on the dollar Swiss? No. Yeah. I missed it too, Joy. I missed it too. But we'll take a look at that GU as well. I'm gonna take a look at the Aussie dollar first. This Aussie dollar, from a weekly time frame perspective, we came into this weekly resistance level, right? Not able to break above, and now you see, right, we got some bearish action happening. So we come down to the daily, we got that fresh AB boundary, right? D extension, previous D extension hit, fresh AB boundary, and we also have a swing high that formed at this weekly resistance level. Right, swing high that formed at that weekly resistance level. Now we're pushing down. We broke back below this previous daily resistance, right? Didn't stay as support. We broke through it. Now we'll see how far we fall. Okay, a couple things to keep our eyes on. We got a potential inverted head and shoulders here. Right, we'll see if we get price to push. If we break that level, then there'll be this deep retracement level, right? But if we get something like that, okay, or if we press deeper, could look like that, right? So we'll watch this to see how deep that retracement comes off this daily time frame. But that's going to be dependent on the Fed, right? Depending on the Fed. So we'll see how price responds at this daily support level at 68,728. Right. As we come down to the 4, we got a beautiful 80-20 scenario happening. Right. Shallow retracement. Pushed through the 118, 127 zone, wasn't able to get to that D extension. Right. And then we got the turnover. Right. Beautiful move to the downside so far. Now we'll see what happens at this daily support. Okay. Now we'll see what happens at the daily support. All right. So we'll drop down to the 1 and we'll start tracking this. Right. So from a 1 hour perspective, we also had an 80-20 scenario. Right. And up here, we got that break of the cloud. Right. Shallow retracement, 118 and 127. Now I got the 382 marked here, right, at 68,259. It's just below this daily support. So we'll see what happens, right? But here, right, we had some consolidation happen. And then we got a bearish push, right? Pullback, and then we continued. Okay. So off to the downside there. Beautiful move so far. 97 pips to the downside, right? With a little bit more to go as we move through the day today and into tomorrow. Okay, so we'll see if we get that price to continue moving to the downside there. Okay, we can track this here. Now this will be something, right? When we talk about adding to the trade, right? We'll see today if we get a pullback. Okay, fresh AB boundary to pop in once we get a swing low here on the 1, right? If we get a pullback into your sweet spot, 618, 786 levels, right? This could be an opportunity to add to your trade. Okay. So we'll see if we get this pullback. We talk about trading small and scaling into that trade, right? An opportunity could present itself here, right? If we get this pullback, we may not, and that's okay too. But if we do, that could be an opportunity for us to add another entry to our trade and place our stop above our A. Right? placing our stop above the high. Oops. Like that. All right. So keep your eyes peeled there if we get that pullback. Okay. That could be an opportunity for us. So with that being said, let's drop down to the 15 and see what we have developing here. All right. Might have an intraday trade opportunity. Let's see. Nope. Still waiting on a fresh AB boundary to pop in here as well. All right. Push down. We hit that D extension. Now we're waiting for the fresh AB boundary to 1, 2. So technically this would be our new fib here on the 15, right? Already pushing to the upside. So we'll be patient and wait and see what happens. If we get a push down, coming to the 118 and 127 zone and then give us a retracement, that'll be great. Or we could just let this ride to the upside. For me, I don't take these trades off the B boundary, right? So if I don't get that push into the 118 and 127 zone, I'm going to wait for price to go ahead and ride to the upside. All right. So being patient here, waiting to see what price does. But keep your eyes peeled on that. We might come back and retest that cloud, and then we'll look for that opportunity to get back short. All right. Questions on that? No? Okay. All right. So that's the Aussie dollar. We'll take a look at that pound dollar joy. There we go. From a weekly time frame perspective, right, what we talked about over the weekend, we got price stalling at this weekly resistance level, giving us this double top look. All right. Price is pressing to the downside now. Come into the daily, see that a little bit more clearly here, right? A double top action at that 50% retracement level. Okay. Trying to get bearish. Now we want to see if we break this daily support at 122,666. Okay. If we break that support, that level is going to be key, right? The Fed will play a role in that. Okay. So we'll see as price continues to push to the downside there. We drop down to the 4. All right. And we're in this 118, 127 zone off the shallow retracement. Double top, right? We're at these key levels coming into these key fundamental announcements, right? So we want to watch now as price tries to press down if we break this, right? If we get a break and a retest of that daily support level, right, we'll have another opportunity to ride us to the downside, right? Going to be contingent on Bank of England and the Fed, right? Wednesday and Thursday. So we'll continue to watch this to see if we press down to this daily support or if we get a pullback first ahead of the rate statement tomorrow and then see if price gets short, right? But it's interesting. It's fascinating, right, that we have these 80-20 scenarios frequently show up at key levels ahead of fundamental announcements, right? It's very intriguing to watch and to follow and see how these things develop, right? But we'll continue to monitor that from a higher time frame perspective. Come down to the 1, right? And you have this double top action here, right? And I boxed out this range, right? We can see this a lot more clearly here. The range that we've been playing in over the short term. And we want to see a breakout, right? We want to see a breakout. Just that push to the downside. Okay. So we'll watch to see. We'll watch to see. Looks like they're looking at the chart. it feels that way sometimes, Joy. It definitely does. It definitely does. Right. Me and Benny talk about a lot. Once we once we make a little bit more money, being able to pay somebody to go back and do the research and study these 80/20 scenarios that come in line with key levels uh, in line with those news reports, right? See what the percentage is of times that those 80/20 scenarios play out. Because it happens frequently. It happens frequently. So it's definitely intriguing. Definitely intriguing. So we'll see, right? This is what we're looking for: a breakout to the downside, or right, do we get a breakout to the upside? All right. Does the Bank of England come in? Conspiracy. Does the Bank of England come in, right? Hawkish and push this thing back to the upside? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So that's pound dollar, euro dollar, similar, right? Similar. Weekly time frame, we're hovering at this weekly. We broke above the weekly resistance level here, right? Was resistance here, we pushed up, and we're getting some hesitation, right? When we talk about having a hawkish ECB, right? This could be just a retest of this weekly level, and then we could see price continue to rise to the upside. That's going to be something for us to watch to see how the back and forth happens here, right? How the back and forth happens. Do we just retest this weekly level that we closed above and then continue higher, or do we actually get a push back down to the downside before we continue up? All right, from a weekly time frame perspective. So we're coming to the daily. We've got this 80/20 scenario here, right? We're not far from that D extension, right? That's what we talked about over the weekend. Not far from the D extension. So does this level hold now as support as it did here? And do we push up to get to that D extension to continue higher, or do we break back below and start making lower highs and lower lows? Okay. So that's we want to watch this level. It's going to be key. This level is going to be key. But 80/20 scenario, now we're looking to see if price starts to really fall. We'll come down to the 4, and we're trying to break the cloud here on the 4, right? We already got a 382 on the 4. Okay. We already pushed there, but we're trying to break below the cloud. We don't have a bearish cloud ahead yet. And we have our TK crossover here, right? So we got a couple more confirmation points to wait on from a 4-hour perspective if you trade off the 4, right? We need a bearish cloud and we need a bearish close below the cloud. Right now we're just hovering sideways. All right, so that'll be something to follow as well, and to see if we get that break of that weekly support. If we get those, bearish cloud, bearish break below, and a bearish break below this weekly support, right? That could be a stronger indication that we're in for some more downward pressure, right? So that's some additional confirmation we can wait on from a higher time frame perspective. We come down to the 1, right? We've already got the cloud break, right? We're in that 80/20 zone, shallow retracement 118 to 127, pushed off of that daily resistance level. Now we're breaking down. Okay. Now we're breaking down. So you see where this weekly level from a lower time frame perspective would be key for us. All right. So we got some alignment on the daily and the 1 hour when it comes to that 80/20 scenario. Okay. So that's what I'm watching and waiting for, right? Some folks might be in this already off of the 118, 127 zone push. Beautiful. Manage your trade to the downside as it moves. Understand that the ECB could be hawkish, right? And this weekly level could hold as a support, and we could see price rise back to the upside. All right, so just be aware there. Okay. Questions here on the euro dollar. Make sure that's right.
Nope, we're good.
Good there. Cool deal. On the 15 intraday opportunity, potentially, right? Shallow retracement 118, 127 zone. We're starting to get a push, right? And we could see a retracement here, right, giving us a high price. So we'll watch this as well. It's already on the move, so I wouldn't enter it right now. But if we get a break of the cloud, we could see this rise a little bit, get into that 618-786 retracement zone. Okay, so you can watch that there from the 15-minute time frame. All right. And let's take a look at this Aussie CAD. A lot of your Aussie pairs, right? We talk about things moving in cycles and the baskets looking similar, right? So a lot of your Aussies are taking a back seat, right? So you look at this Aussie CAD, we came into this monthly resistance level, right? Couldn't close above, and now we're retracing, right? We already got a just shy of a 618 retracement, but we're retracing right now, right? Pushing back down. We close. We'll see if today we close back below this daily resistance level, right? If that is the case, we could see this continue to fall there, 92,785, right? We already got swing high to form, 2 candles to the right, right? Now we'll see if we close below that level, give us some additional confirmation that we could see this continue to fall to that zone. All right. Come down to the 4. All right. You see that a little bit more closely. We already got to 382. Price was not able to close above this zone, right? And that's the breakdown. So all the Aussies, you see them starting to take a back seat. Similar action, right? Not necessarily all 80-20s, right? Not necessarily all be boundaries, but they're all in this retracement phase. So we'll see if we're able to continue pressing lower, right, to get back to that 92,785. Come here on the 1, right? And on the 1 hour, we did have an 80-20 scenario. All right. Take that out for a second. Shallow retracement, price push to the 118 and 127 zone, right? So here was that signal for price to get short, right? So now it's just a matter of how far do we fall? How far do we fall? So that 80-20 scenario is playing out as expected as well. Okay. And then we'll see once price pushes down there. I ran this sub fib off the high. We'll drop down to the 15 to take a look at it, right? Didn't get a deeper retracement here. This is one that I missed. I wanted to see a deeper retracement, right? And price was here. Want to see it bounce and then get short again. Didn't get it, right? Push down and hit the D extension. So now we're looking for a fresh AB boundary to form on the 1. Okay. So that's the deal there. We come down to the 15. Here's a scenario here. Shallow retracement 118, 127 zone. Got a bullish push here. I'm going to drop down to the 5 and look at this. Here, right? So I brought that 15-minute fib down to the 5, right? Now let's wait and see if we get a cloud break here. Yeah, man. I'm with you, Reese. Let's see if we get a cloud break here, right, on the retracement opportunity, right? Be patient with it. But we want to see Kumo twist, and we want to see price break this cloud, right, along with the TK crossover. That hasn't happened yet either, right? So we got a little bit to wait still, right? So your T continuing to Kijisen still got some separation there. So we want to see a cross of that, a Kumo twist, and price break above the cloud. But here's the 80-20 scenario on the 15-minute fib, right, down to the 5-minute chart. So that's what we're going to wait to see. We'll check back in. We'll check back in 15 minutes to see how and see how price transpires there. But that could be a retracement opportunity for us from an intraday perspective if we get that cloud break, looking for price to at least get back to that 382. All right, so we'll keep our eyes on that one. Questions on the Aussie CAD? All right, cool deal. So we'll come back to that. What just happened here? Hold on 1 second, everybody. There we go. That was weird. Let's take a look at this cat Swiss. This is the one that I've got my eyes on. So we push down. So this is from a higher time frame perspective. It's just ranging right now, right? First B boundary, we started to push up, came back down, retested that support level. We got to push, but we haven't been able to break above this daily resistance level, right? And price is pulling back again, right? So we're in a range here. I'm keeping my eyes on this, and we'll see if we push all the way back down to the support. We'll see if price comes all the way back down to the bottom of the range and then gives us a push back up, right? But we're turning over now. Let's drop down to the 4, right? You see this double top here, right? Shallow retracement, price push to the 118, 127 zone. Gave us initial push down. Still not able to break out the double top. So we'll see where this finishes out. This is one I'm watching for a potential move to the upside. It's more of a longer term swing trade here, right? And we've just been hovering in this B boundary zone, right? Just hovering in this B boundary zone. I want to see it get long, but we got to break above these daily levels first, right? So waiting for price to come back down to the downside, see how low we push, and then see if we can get price to turn over. Come down to the 1. All right, and this is that move again, just a little bit closer view, right? Breaking through the cloud here, bearish Kumo twist there. So we'll see, right? Like I said, overall, I'm bullish on this. It's just about waiting for price to be ready to move, right? We're hovering in this 118, 127 zone overall. This is our capital fib on the 1. Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. We're getting that consolidation that we like to see. So if we make our way back down to the bottom of this range, right, I'll look for another entry opportunity on this to then get back long. All right, so we'll see what happens there. But keep your eyes on this one. This has been a long time developing, right? We've been watching this since December. We'll see. I dig it, Joy. I dig it. That back and forth has been crazy. So we'll keep our eyes on it, right? Throughout the week and see if we get back down to the bottom of this range and give us an opportunity there. All right. Any questions or thoughts on this CAD Swiss? Benny, what are your thoughts here, man? You still bullish overall on this?
Sorry about that. I was on mute. Yep. For the long term play, looking from the daily, I'm still bullish on it.
Okay. Cool deal. We'll see what happens, right? See if this double top completes and we get that push down. Give us another more optimal entry opportunity.
I got a question.
Talk to me.
I moved my stops into profit.
Mm-hmm.
Did I do it too soon?
No, I did too, right? I did too.
Okay.
And it closed me out in profit, right? So this is just you're managing your trade accordingly, right?
Yeah.
If you get stopped out in profit, cool. You made some money off of it. And then we'll just look for another entry opportunity off of it, right? So now that's why I said I'm just sitting tight, right? I'm just sitting tight. I'm out of it now, we'll see if we get price to push back down to the bottom of this range. Right. So it's interesting because, right, that consolidation is just extended. So that it's more of a preference, kind of the conversation you and Reese been having, right? Do you sit and allow the bounce back and forth to happen, which is cool, right? In those longer swing trades, like Benny talked about, you'll see that happen. Well, you'll be in profit, you'll be out of profit, you'll be in profit, you'll be out of profit until price is ready to move. In this scenario, I moved mine a little early, right? And I took the profit that I had because I entered this off of a lower time frame. So so I took the profit that I had, and now I'm just waiting, right? So I'm managing mine a little bit with a different thought process because of how I entered the trade, right? So I say it's fine, right? You move it into profit, right? If it stops short in profit, then we just look for a re-entry opportunity, right? As price comes back down into our sweet spot. Or, right, if price gives us a break out of that range, then you can look at, if it's in your rules for a break and retest, you can just look for the break and retest opportunity.
Because no, it make perfect sense because I did over the weekend, well, Monday, I did put a limit order in. Mm-hmm. Because I was looking, I said this might, because I'm at like 66, 7, 8, 6, 8. One of them is. But I'm all in that range. So I'm like, this might come back down. So I did put another limit order in just in case if sure. I can stop out of profit.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Great entry here, right? Beautiful look, right? At the low, push to the upside, great stop loss positioning, right? So your risk to reward is still great, even if, right? I'm not sure where you got your
up underneath the C.
Under the C here.
Up on
Yeah, so it's still 50 pips, right? And if you place your stop below the low, it's still good risk to reward, right? So you're still in a good situation. You know what I mean? You take some profit, price comes back down, give us opportunity to re-enter and do it all over again.
Okay, I'll adjust my mindset. I was like, this the one I get to hold on to. I'm going to hold on to it, Elizabeth. And I was like, no, I don't think this going to happen because I seen G-Chef acting funny with all them weird candles. And I was like, and I started looking at all the chef pairs, and I remember you were saying that chef, somebody was buying chef or something like that. I don't know why that clicked. So I was like, I wonder if they buying now.
It'll be interesting to see, right? So when they do come in to intervene, right, and you'll see those bank deposits increase. When that happens, the market just goes. So I would say I don't know that it has happened yet, but just like we saw on those yen crosses where the yen was just getting ran on, that you'll see that in these Swiss franc crosses. It won't necessarily be a bounce back and forth, but you'll see price just really start to move in a direction. Right.
I got you.
So, yeah, and I haven't seen anything, any articles on it after that original one. So, we'll see if it occurs sometime in the future. So, good work though. Good work. All right, so that's the cat Swiss. Anybody got any pair? Ben, you got any pairs? Any other pairs you got your eyes on? As we're moving through the week that you're watching ahead of news later on?
No, not right now. Just waiting on these rate decisions. So I'm still I'll tell you what I'm carrying now. I'm carrying that Aussie dollar short. Yeah. Still on the Euro Aussie buy. Euro Swiss I'm long. NZD USD I'm short. And the dollar Swiss I'm long right now. So
you said you're short on the Euro Swiss or long?
Long on the Euro Swiss.
Long on the Euro Swiss, okay.
And so I'm up slightly on that. The cash Swiss I'm just holding for a long term swing. Yeah. I mean that's down right now. I'm down like $30 on that, but the rest of them are up. Of course, that pound Aussie was a good long play for me. I caught that. That's 127 pips, but
Yep.
the rest of them. So just and then the ones that I'm in, I'm just watching them closely. I'm in small, knowing that we've got a big rate week, right? So it always comes down to how much of it is being priced in now. We're expecting 50 basis points from the ECB, from the UK, from the BOE, 50 basis points, and they're talking 25 basis points from the Fed tomorrow. But it always depends on the rhetoric afterwards, right?
All depends on the rhetoric. Yep.
So that's going to be a very important move for. I expect the ECB to be hawkish. Um, the BOE, oftentimes they're divided, so 50 basis points, but then what's going to be said afterwards? The inflation is still high. I think 10%. I was looking at trading economics last night. And then the East, the Eurozone is still high. All of it's high across the board,
All
but
of us
those
are
two,
across the board. Yeah.
yeah, it seems to be extremely sticky. So we'll see what happens. But that's what I'm floating right now. And we'll see how much strength that dollar continues to show.
Yeah.
Not exactly sure what it means right now, being that everybody's
Right.
expecting a slower rate hike. Maybe it's some people thinking that they may come out with 25, but maybe be hawkish, on the statement end of things. Not sure with the dollar right now, but it's showing some strength. So, and they were technically some of the pairs were in position, in regards to the type of setups that I like to play. So
Right.
took a shot at it, and right now it's paying off. Just continue to monitor.
Yeah, for sure. And this DXY, man, I'm watching these levels here, this weekly and daily levels, to see if we're able to break above those. That's my kind of my gauge, right? Um, with the rhetoric tomorrow, to see if it pushes to the upside there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Definitely be interesting to see.
Hi, good morning. The fib on the other side coming down on the DXY is also, sort of a confluence too. So
Yep.
interesting.
It is, right? It definitely is. You got a fresh B boundary here. So if we get that push, right, definitely got some confluence there. Great call on that,
Yeah,
man.
for sure, for sure. I mean, the dollar's definitely catching some bids. I mean, but it is ahead of the rate statement tomorrow. Some people thinking they may come out and be more aggressive for that. I don't know if they'll go against that 25 basis points is what the market is expecting, but
I don't know either.
you know, I don't know.
Because there hasn't been a ton to say for them to be more hawkish, right? Then they say they're going to continue to increase them, right? That's been the statement. But there hasn't been much for them to say we're going to go above this 25 basis points.
All right. Well, that's what the market has got, but the issue is that the market keeps fighting against the Fed.
Right.
The market keep seeing it. You keep seeing these rallies. That doesn't bode well because it's leaving when you especially when you're talking about labor and things like that. It's still leaving inflation kind of sticky. And they're trying to get to that 2% target. So it's like the boldness. I don't want to say the arrogance, but the arrogance of the market, like I said, is continuing to push against the Fed.
That's true.
So that just it's a psychology thing, right? People have to start to feel a certain way in order for things for people to start to tighten, their pocketbooks and things like that, and slow the spending, which we're starting to see it, but is it enough? So maybe they go 25 basis points, and then the rhetoric is hawkish in regards to the forward guidance, but they're still not exactly where they need to be. Maybe they do, because the market is talking about the potential of a pause eventually, but the data is still not showing that, showing convincing enough information to where the Feds would pause, in my opinion, at least from the stuff that I'm reading. So who knows? It's just the back and forth is, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't know.
I'm with you on that, bro.
And I was
Yeah.
going to ask about that because I was reading an article on Forex, far as the laboring part. They, of course, they talking to Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, and they're talking about upcoming layoffs and stuff like that, and how this is the year for the CEOs to regain their strength back because employees don't have any more bargaining chips since the Great Resignation is over. So once Ryan said something about that key level, and price has been sitting there for a while for GU, and it's like, is it really like the US just gonna be on the bear market this year?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know because I think they're banking on the Fed not getting too aggressive because it's lagging effects, right? So you're just now starting to see some of the effects of what they've done months and months and months ago. Is all lagging. So I think some of the market is just banking on. Well, they're not going to get aggressive because they're still not seeing the impact completely of what they've already done. So they don't want to get too far ahead of themselves. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess.
for sure.
Yeah, but I understand what Joy is saying in regards to the labor market and employees running out of bargaining chips. That's just a hot mess in itself. But we can talk about that for hours. But we'll see.
We shall see. Anything else, bro? Before we wrap it up. Great chat.
No, man. Really, really, really good session. It's good to always see the fundamental catalysts start to play a part and get the market moving. Because last week was a bit of a drag, at least for me, it was.
Yeah, it was slow motion.
Just sitting in positions, waiting on them to take off, and it seems like starting to get some momentum this week. But just trade with caution. If you're in profit, manage your setups, right? Because we've got big fundamental data coming out, and you just never know in these times how the market's going to react.
You never know. All right, good people. We will be back at it tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for pre-New York session. You guys have an awesome Tuesday. We'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.
Thank you.